So do you want to just give us a brief explanation of your experience, like what you actually do first?
Sure. Look, I'm a specialist sports physiotherapist. So there's, I think, 50 specialist sports physiotherapists in Australia. 3 of them are here, and I'm one of those. But from a cycling perspective, I'm a sports physiotherapist with an interest in cycling. Got into cycling like you do, 12, 15 years ago when the knees give out. And I start cycling and wanting to learn more about it. One, there's a discussion about the extremes.
Yeah.
So bike manufacturers don't really cater for the very small person or the very large person so well.
Yeah, okay.
They try to fit them onto bikes that are either too big,
Yeah.
little guy onto the bigger bike because
Yeah.
they don't create the frames and the crank sizes, and conversely bigger guys onto too small a frame. Usually, and as we discussed earlier, most of my clients are recreational cyclists up and down the beach road in Melbourne, and from that perspective, they're probably their bike setup's not as evolved, right? They've just started, they're on their first or second bike, and they tend to want to ride aggressive. They want to look like the Tour de France guys. So, and an aggressive setup is seat higher, seat further back, and probably trunk flexed a little bit more. So, and look, a lot of our middle-aged bodies especially can't handle that.
Yeah.
Right? So they might in the future, as you evolve as a cyclist, you get stronger, you become a better cyclist, but certainly in that first or second bike stage or early stage, and sometimes even moving forward because they sit in an office for 10 or 12 hours a day, that cyclist's body will never be able to go as aero as they want or as aggressive as they want.
Yeah, okay.
So overly aggressive is the big problem.
Yeah.
And then obviously just not being set up well on the bike. So look, I think the first thing you do is make sure the bike is good.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So the bike, I'll say, I don't worry about the 1 millimetre, 2 millimetres. You can leave that to Chris Froome.
Yeah.
We don't worry about that so much because there's so much variation and error in measurement.
Yeah.
However, we talk about that envelope of function, it's got to be within a certain range. And to get that right is not so easy. I would say that buying a bike off the internet is just fraught with danger because every bike manufacturer has different criteria for measuring a frame size. Mm-hmm. Historically, with the horizontal top tubes, it used to be centre to centre, horizontal across the top. But some of them have started doing, measuring the seat tube length as well. It's really complicated. So you go and look at the geometry and try and work it out according to your height, and it's very, very difficult. So I'd say get to the trusted bike shop because one, if the bike shop measures you and you buy from a bike shop, they're responsible, right? But if you buy it off the internet, you're responsible. And two, they're going to have some of those basic measures that will allow you to get the right fit. And it's usually relating a leg length to a seat height, and there's lots of different ways of going about that. We won't go into that at this point in time. And once you get, and then it's seat forward or back, and once you get that pelvic position right, then it's the individual that will dictate where the bars are, how far forward and low you can go in that setup.